was your father?
Then my father.
Your father was
Yes.
64?
My father was 69.
The year?
Oh, the year was 64, and he was 69 years old.
Did he die suddenly, or did he?
No,
more or less.
No, he'd been older.
Yes, I know, but you know, he had a prostate problem, and you see, all the uncles, with the exception of your grandfather, died young because they were smoking. I mean, Willow was 50 odd
This
years.
is the story.
That's
This is
he
what my
said.
grandpa used to say that story.
I'm sure of it, because look, father was 69, Ferci was I think 72, Willow was 55, I mean I don't know how old he was, also young. They were all smoking since the age of...
Yeah, but it had nothing to do with why they died. I mean, we don't know that.
I'm absolutely sure they all had heart problems. They all, Willow had heart problems, Armin had heart problems, father had heart problems.
Willow went to the doctor for insurance purposes, and the doctor considered that he was absolutely 100%. Then he went out of the surgery and died.
Yeah, well, he had a heart attack, which the doctor...
But the doctor hadn't seen it, nobody died.
Well, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. The fact was
when
they all died because they smoked since the age of 11 or 12. They, so, you know,
that's your diagnosis.
Don't know that in those days people didn't know that cigarettes caused death.
But
Did you never smoke yourself?
Don't die.
Who?
Did you smoke yourself?
I smoked, yes, I smoked, but I gave it up about 30 years ago. And your father was the only one who did, your grandfather, sorry, was the only one who didn't smoke. And he lived till he was 82.
79.
79? Well, I thought it was more.
The death of your father had an impact on the firm?
Yes, you see, what happened was by that time we were doing reasonably well, and we decided to go public. There was a financier and a banker in Cardiff called Hodge, and Hodge had a lot
Julian Hodge, is it?
Pardon?
Is it Julian Hodge, is that?
That's right, Julian Hodge. And we got in touch with him through our solicitors, and he said he's going to underwrite us and we should go public. And we were going to go public on a certain day, and a day before that, or 2 days before, the father died. So we had to cancel everything because it was death duties. And then there was a problem that your grandfather and Ferci were pushing to sell the company, and there came a company called Hanson Trust. And we sold it to them. It was a terrible day for me when we sold the company.
So it was against your will?
I was against it personally, but your grandfather and Ferci wanted to see, I mean I could understand it, they wanted to see the money in a little pile, because by that time
they didn't want you to run the factory.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Mind you, by that time they were getting a good German pension, so they were not dependent. They were independent of the company, but they wanted to sell it. So eventually, by the time Marcel had died, so one thing and another.
So this was already about 1969, 70?
Yeah, that's right, 69, 70, yes. So.
So by that time, when the company was sold, the directors would you and Betsy and Ferci and who else?
And Marcel, but Marcel had died by then.
Yeah.
And I think there was Frederick Salter was the director.
Right.
But he was there only because the uncle thought he had more knowledge of business.
He was an art teacher, wasn't he?
No, he was he was teaching I think industrial history or
Oh.
something like that. But he was actually a manufacturer. He had a business making ladies' underwear.
Yeah.
He
So
was
did he have knowledge of business?
I didn't think so. You
Hmm.
see, he was very fortunate because sometimes you become successful in spite of yourself. No, he was fortunate so far that he had a few nice designs, and there was a demand for his work, so he was doing all right. And he married then Edith, and Edith was a very talented designer, clothes designer. So she was working with him, and they did all right. And he bought a piece, or he rented a piece of land in Cardiff and built a huge building on it, which when it was sold gave Edith a few £1,000,000. So she's a wealthy woman in her own right, due to Frederick. And then poor Frederick died, and they all died then, you see. And it was very sad,
Yes.
very sad.
I'm going to take a break.